Hello Tilted Brick fans. Today we are going to cover embossing with Lisa Horton embossing folders, and then we're going to do a second project that is the embossing folder with coordinating stencils. But first I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending, and I want to show you that. We're going to use the tacky mat from Lisa Horton. So that is this little thing right here. It's very nice. It stays on your surface, and when you are using it, it will hold your cardstock in place. So we'll put this on here. You can see a little embossing because I started that first. It's not what I want to do. And you can see your paper stays, it's not going to move, but also this is a gentle tack, and so it's not going to tear your paper. So the first thing we're going to do is take our ink, and I'm just going to apply some color. And today I'm using the Lisa Horton interference inks that have, this is the color on white, this is the color on black, but also this will be the color that you see like when it catches the light, because they're very shimmering. So we're just going to add a little ink blending. These are very vibrant colors. Just want to get some down on the cardstock haphazardly in different places. And this will start to smooth out more as we add more color. So don't worry about the blotchiness right now. Right now it's just a matter of getting the color on the paper. Just take your brush of choice, rotate it on, start off of the cardstock. If you start in the center or whatever, you're gonna get like a blotchy mark from just the amount of ink that is on the brush in the first place. You can see how nice that's laying down on there. And add another color. This one is the Teal Twist Shimmer. We have a variety of these inks in the shop, and they are really, really pretty. They have a very nice shine. You can see how vibrant the color is. They're going to blend nicely together. Where I have some of this overlap, I will come back in with the color again just to smooth it out. And of course, going through the embossing folder, it's going to smooth it out as well. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more of this pink and come over here and get it to blend more into the teal and the blue. And then we're just going to let that start melding together. This will work your arm muscles. So be prepared. Look how deep that color is. Very nice. Okay. And I think that that's a pretty good mix. We're going to be doing a couple other things to it, so it's not, doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to take this, a wet wipe, and that just comes right off. And then this will dry while we're doing our next part. Okay, so now for the embossing, we're going to take the Spellbinders Little Mister. This has a very fine spray, and we're going to spray the cardstocks. That helps keep it from cracking, but it also will help the image to be more deeply embossed. We'll take our embossing folder, and because I already started this, I'm just going to try to line it up with the little part that I had previously, which means I think I need to do this way. There we go. It's a lot easier to put it in the spot when you can line up there we go, that's where I need to be. When you can line up the images. So you can just see that I'm just popping it back into where I had it. Put it in your embossing folder. We're using the Spellbinders Platinum today, and each die cut machine has its own sandwich for embossing. The Spellbinders nicely puts it onto their platform, which is the platform, the embossing folder, and the cutting plate. So we're just going to put those three together, and we'll run this through. More arm exercises for you. Okay. I'm gonna open this up, and voila, our embossed image. And I'm not sure if the light's catching that, but you can see the shimmer. So the next thing we're gonna do with this, just to add a touch more interest, is we're gonna take our Ranger Pigment Ink Glacier White pad, and we're going to take the top off of it. And then you're going to lightly, very gentle pressure, we're gonna go over the top of it so that it catches the part that has been embossed and is upraised. And so that will highlight our leaves here for us, leaving the other color down on the bottom. You can see how that's just catching just the very top. And so now you can really see that definition of the leaves. I'll put my lid back on. This is a pigment ink, I don't want it to dry out. And here is our first project. So you have a nice, very beautiful image. Shimmers, catches the light. You can add a little more texture to it by splattering on it or water droplets or anything, but I think this is really just fantastic right now. I love the shimmer. So, okay, we'll put this one aside, and then I'm going to show you the next one. This one was the Pretty Leaves embossing folder. So the next one we're going to use is called, I don't see the name on it, sorry. Hold on, here it is. It's over here. Aha. I see, this one is not Lisa Horton, sorry. This is Altenews Flower Vines, but it's the same thing. It's the same premise. We're gonna use the embossing folder, and this particular one also has the coordinating stencil, so we're gonna be able to color our flowers quite easily. So we're gonna start the same way. We're gonna take our cardstock, spritz with water, place it inside the folder, and you can see that this one has a little bit different design, so we're just gonna kind of line our cardstock up where we want to get the most out of the floral images that we see. Purely a preference, and then I'm going to close it up, make my little sandwich again, and run it right back through. Okay. Now this leaves a nice deep impression. I'm gonna move this one out of the way. And look at that. Oh, magic. See how pretty that is? This is pretty by itself. Would make a nice back for a card. You can just put a black or gold or any color, really, just a bright color sentiment on top, and that would be very striking as it is. But we are going to add some color to this. We're going to stick with the Lisa Horton inks, and now I'm going to take the stencils. So when you have your stencil, the nice thing that I like about stenciling over an embossed image is you can take your stencil and you can just line it right up, and it kind of sticks into place. And again, here's where this tacky mat comes in nicely, because it's going to hold our stencil down so that we do not get what is the word I'm looking, so it doesn't move when we're ink blending, because you can move your brush kind of vigorously and it can move your cardstock, but all of this is nice and stuck. The other thing to think about is this also holds your ink pad, so you can do this with one hand. And I'm noticing here that I have the centers, and I have this which will do the centers, so I can line this up, and I'm just gonna line this up over the top really quick, because I want to do the center of those flowers without getting the rest. I want to at least have this a good color down first. So we're going to do that. Just go through here, get the center of my flowers. And this one is the Sweet Treat Lisa Horton ink, which has the yellow. And then it has on black, it'll be pink. And then also your shine is going to be more on the pink side when it catches the light. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. The center of those flowers is done nicely. And now I can come back with the next color. And I am going to do crushed velvet for the flowers. And we're just gonna start again. Same thing is you wanna start off of the flower and then ease into it. That way you're able to control the amount of ink that gets on the image rather than have just a big blotch where you put your brush down. And now, because I have this center here, I'm going to take a little bit of washi tape because I do not want to mix the purple with my yellow, not really. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape down over that so that I can be mindful of where the center of the flower is. And I'll move it around as needed so that we're not getting too much purple in the yellow. So we do that. Depending on how heavy-handed you are, you can actually do a little shading, color a little bit heavier to get more, a darker color for your shading. And then you can go lighter to make it appear like the shadows. So we're just going to keep going. I'm trying to be a little careful here, so this is taking a little bit longer than you would if you didn't have to be mindful of those centers. So I'm just going to keep going. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to do the next one. Okay.
And I think she hasn't shipped. I'm not sure who she spoke with, but I was going to exchange them.
Okay, so we're just continuing on to add a little bit of color. This particular stencil set, there's only 3. Some images are a little bit more detailed, so you have more stencils, but they all work the same way, where you're just going to add your color. Oops. Okay, so I'm just going around the edges here. Again, just trying to be careful to not get too much of the purple into the yellow. But you also want to be careful if you do your washi because it'll leave lines. So I'm going to come in this way. Put a little bit more tape right there. Okay, see, we're just adding some color. I think I'm going to leave just a smidge of white in there because I'm liking how that looks. One of my favorite things is to see a variegated flower. And so I want to keep a little bit of that color in there just to show a highlight and to give it just a little bit more texture and light and shadow. Okay, and you can see here, like I've gone darker on the base of the flower.
But she did say that this one was part of a kit that she bought, and she called to ask because that was the main one I already have. I have this one, and then these two were she thought I wanted those and they were not the right ones, but I already have these 2 sets. But this one I think was the die cut.
Okay, so that one. Now we're going to move to our next stencil. And one thing that I would like to add is, depending on what you're using, I usually keep a bucket of water nearby to put my stencils in, but the stencils also clean very easily with a wet wipe, so you don't need that. But if I'm going to use texture paste, I'll have a bucket nearby to put it in so it doesn't stick. Okay, so now we're going to go back to this one where we had done our center of our flowers, but now we're going to do the leaves. So I'm going to stick this on, and again, this just kind of pops into place. And I'm going to take some of this yellow off just because I don't want it to catch with my green. Okay, now we'll take the green. This is Magic Garden. And we're gonna come in here with our green. And this one is a lot smaller, so we don't have as much to do. And it's not gonna be as labor intensive as trying to be mindful of the flowers and not getting my purple into the yellow. Also, these stencils are all numbered, so you can see that. And so we've just gone over it with like a Sharpie so that you can see the number of the stencil. It really doesn't matter what order you're doing it in, but it is helpful to know. Look at how pretty that's showing up. Okay, now we have our leaves. And this is just, again, popping it over the embossed image. It will kind of lock into place. Like that. Then we're going to push this down. I'm going to take my green again, make sure that it's on there, and now we're just going to go over the leaves. And if you wanted to add a little, you know, heavy in one side and then lighter so that you get some shading.
Is that on there to see what she originally sent for it? No, I don't know if this is on.
Then you can do that. So it just adds that little bit more depth. If you have a detail blending brush, which is just a smaller one, it's a lot easier to add that shading.
Can I call her and do, I don't know, do something just so that I get the full, I just feel bad since she paid full price. If I wanted to be able to get what she paid for it, you know what I mean, to buy new stuff. So is there a way, like if I call her, she can cooperate, or I don't know, like. No, this is not something we need full price. Oh, okay, so this one is.
So there we go.
Only $5.99 or it's. So it's normally $5.99. Oh, is it? Okay, that's exciting. Okay, so then there's more of their stuff that I'm gonna.
Okay. And now we are almost finished with this one.
Yeah. And
this is a really nice, bright, springy card that we're coming up with here. And then we will do the big reveal and see if we want to add more color or shading. Okay, put my lid back on, move over. And there is the big reveal. So again, this is our Altenew flower vines 3D. It catches the light, and that is our demo for today. And if you have any questions, please let us know here in the shop. We're always here for helping you. And if there's a technique or something that you would like for us to show you, just let us know, and we'll be happy to do the research and figure it out for you. Thank you for coming today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.